our data, the average honorarium of a barangay tanod in the Philippines.
Oh,
The average, Your Honor, is about 1,590.
so tumama ka dyan. Isip-isipin mo naman. 1,000 pesos, 1,500 pesos per month. Minsan, alam mo, Mr. Chair, tinanong ko yung kapitan. Kapitan, did you have the privilege or opportunity to witness, for example, your barangay tanod handing to his wife the monthly honorarium? Mr. Chairman, inaabot nung sa kanyang asawa. Tiningnan mo ba ako yung itsura ng asawa mo habang inaabot mo yung 1,500 na honorarium mo? Opo. Ano ang itsura niya? Nakangiwi po. Ano po ang may bibigay niya sa pamilya niya? 1,500. Do you know the honorarium of the member of Lupon Tagapamayapa? Ayan, maiiyak ka na dyan.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. The average honorarium of a Lupon Tagapamayapa member is about 1,027 pesos
Ay, mali ka
per
dyan.
month.
Maling-mali yan. The average is 300 pesos. Paano makakapamayapa? Alam mo, Mr. Chair, sa Maynila, kasi ako nagtatanong po isang barangay sa Maynila, sa unang pagkakataon nabigla ko, kasi ang binanggit niya ay, magkano po honorarium ng inyong 1,000 pesos po, nabigla ako. Napakaswerte ka ako ng ano nyo. Ngayon lang ako nakarinig, 1,000 pesos pala ang honorarium ng isang miyembro ng Lupon Tagapamayapa. Sir, 1 year po yun. Sabi niya sa akin. Ibig sabihin, 3 piso sa loob ng isang araw. Sinong mapapayapa mong isang komunidad? Ito po yung tingnan natin, Mr. Chair. Minomonitor yun kaya medyo nagsisintimiento ng chairman natin.
Yeah, Senator Marcoleta.
That's the question I want to ask, Mr. Chair. Aside from monitoring and updating the committee on the pending bills, what else do you do? Because if the amendment or amendments to the local government code is one of the priorities of this administration, meron akong bill ito yung SB number 65. Hindi nyo man lang nakita sa loop ninyo because this bill advocates the creation of a Barangay Affairs and Development Commission within the DILG. And then it also advocates the creation of a Barangay Development Fund. Kasi sa ngayon, out of 42,000 barangays, Mr. Chair, may I ask the officials of DILG, what is the average budget across the country?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. Based on our data, the average share from the national tax allocation of barangays would be at 4.937 million per barangay.
4.9.
Opo, yes.
So sabihin na lang nating 5 million. So anong ma-accomplish ng isang barangay sa 5 million budget per year? If you compare it with the more affluent barangays in this country, I will tell you, Barangay Dasmariñas, Barangay Magallanes, Barangay Forbes Park, kung saan nakatira ang ating chairman, hindi yata ron. Barangay La Vista, Ayala Heights, Ayala Alabang, White Plains, Katiklan, Barangay Capitolio, Barangay Holy Spirit. I can continue on and on. Itong mga ito, siguro 300 million to close to billions. Pagkatapos kukumpara mo sa, let's say, sabihin mo na average is 5 million. Anong magagawa ng isang barangay? Kaya nga, itong aking itong aking bill na to intends to strengthen the barangay by acquiring more funds. Hindi necessarily yung sa nata lang. Eh. Isipin ninyo, Mr. Chair, do you know the average honorarium that a barangay captain receives per month? Average. What is your data?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. Our data representing about 87% of all submissions from the 42,011 barangays would peg
87%.
of the submissions po.
Ako may 100% ako.
Yeah.
Kaya alam ko kung ano yung average. So ano yung sa record mo?
The average monthly honorarium of a punong barangay in the Philippines is about 13,159 pesos monthly.
Mali yun
Your
sa'yo.
Honor.
Sa akin is only 8,000 pesos per month. Yun ang average po nationwide. 8,000 pesos, Mr. Chair, is the salary of our kasambahay in Manila. Totoo po ito. So parang kasambahay na lamang po. Ang responsibility ng barangay captain, Mr. Chair, 24/7. Tama? Overwork, underpaid, sabi nila. They're the first responder. Siya lang frontliner. All national governments, palaging inilalatag sa barangay. Ninakaw yung kalabaw ni si barangay. Nagawa yung kapitbahay si barangay. Nawala yung pusa ni ganito si barangay. Pero 8,000 pesos is the national average ng honorarium. Paanong kaya po hindi talaga kung talagang binabalak nyo na ayusin natin yung barangay ang unahin natin. Alam mo, Mr. Chair, ang balak ko pa nga rito, ewan ko kung ganito rin ang iniisip ninyo. Palagay nyo na lang ang population natin ngayon, 115 million Filipinos. Budgetan natin ang barangay conforme sa dami ng population niya. Kung halimbawa isang barangay, 5,000 ang kanyang residents, 1,000 ang isang head. So halimbawa, 115 million population, 115 bilang yun. Pwede natin i-distribute, Mr. Chair, per head. Makikita mo ngayon yung equitable distribution ng budget. Kung sino yung pinakamaraming tao, mas marami siyang maliban, mapuwera na yung nata kasi, siyempre, iba naman kasi yung configuration ng nata ninyo eh. Kailangan po nating bigyan ng pagkakataon yung mga maliliit na barangay, lalo na po yung mga barangay na nasa 4th class, 5th class, and even 6th class municipalities. Wala po silang insurance. Wala silang SSS, wala silang GSIS. Do you know the average honorarium of a barangay tanod nationwide? Oo, dapat kabisado niya yan. Ako, kabisado ko eh.
Based on our data, the average honorarium of a barangay tanod in the Philippines is about
based on your 87% submission again.
About 73% for 0.86% submission.
Bumaba pa ng konti.
The average, Your Honor, is about 1,590.
Tumama ka dyan. Isip-isipin mo naman. 1,000 pesos. 1,500 pesos per month. Minsan, alam mo, Mr. Chair, tinanong ko yung kapitan. Kapitan, did you have the privilege or opportunity to witness, for example, your barangay tanod handing to his wife the monthly honorarium? Mr. Chairman, inaabot nung sa kanyang asawa. Tiningnan mo ba ako yung itsura ng asawa mo habang inaabot mo yung 1,500 na honorarium mo? Opo. Ano ang itsura niya? Nakangiwi po. Ba't di ka mapapangiwi sa 1,000? Tingnan mo, Madam Jessica D. Ito ay kakilala ko. Siya yung presidente ng lahat ng kapitan sa buong Pilipinas. Ang asawa niya ay colleague ko sa... Kumusta na si... Mayor na ba siya o congressman pa rin? Mayor ano? Ano po ang may bibigay niya sa pamilya niya? 1,500. Do you know the honorarium of the member of Lupon Tagapamayapa? Ayan, maiiyak ka na dyan.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. The average honorarium of a Lupon Tagapamayapa member is about 1,027 pesos
Ay, mali ka
per month.
dyan. Maling-mali yan. The average is 300 pesos. Paano makakapamayapa? Alam mo, Mr. Chair, sa Maynila, kasi ako nagtatanong po isang barangay sa Maynila, sa unang pagkakataon nabigla ko, kasi ang binanggit niya ay, magkano po honorarium ng inyong 1,000 pesos po, nabigla ako. Napakaswerte ka ako ng ano nyo. Ngayon lang ako nakarinig, 1,000 pesos pala ang honorarium ng isang miyembro ng Lupon Tagapamayapa. Sir, 1 year po yun. Sabi niya sa akin. Ibig sabihin, 3 piso sa loob ng isang araw. Sinong mapapayapa mong isang komunidad? Ito po yung tingnan natin, Mr. Chair. Minomonitor yun nga, kaya medyo nagsisintimiento ng chairman natin. 2012. Kopong-kopong pa yan Ang pinagtutuunan yung pansin, Magna Carta. Titingnan po niyo yung Magna Carta. Walang sinasabing karagdagang benefit ng barangay kung pag-uusapan kung saan tayo kukuha ng additional funding aside from Denata. Wala po sa Magna Carta yan Pero ako pong gusto kong pagkukulan ng pansin, bigyan natin ng mas maraming pondo. Kamukha ng mga departamentong hindi naman nagagamit ang kanilang budget. Alam ng ating chairman yan, ang absorptive capacity, bibigyan mo ng 100%, ang magagamit niya lang 25%. Ibigay lahat sa barangay yan para umusad sila. Pwede po bang isama niyo yung barangay ko sa inyong pinag-uukulang? Nakakasama ng loob, Mr. Chen. Hindi man lang nabigyan ng pansin yung napakaganda ng aking, yung aking bill ma'am?
Angela po.
Assistant Director
Yes, sir.
Maria Angela, ano yung apelyido ma'am?
Sir.
Sa isa na po kayo, mas medyo malabo na po yung mata ko. Di
Yes,
bale,
sir.
kabisado po kayong lahat ni Chairman. Patatawag po kayong lahat.
Yes, sir. We will consider po. We will
Anyway,
include.
given the manifestation of Senator Marcoleta we are including his bill, Senate Bill number 65 in the agenda of this hearing this morning. And we are requesting our resource persons to also submit their position papers with regard to this, with regard to the bill of Senator Marcoleta. Barangay Affairs and Development Commission Act. Ito yung bill ni Senator Marcoleta.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Kaya kahit na hindi ako member dito, talagang pinagsikapan kong samahan kita rito dahil alam ko nag-iisa ka lang.
Maraming salamat pero hindi po ako nakatira sa Forbes Park. Anyway, nabasa ko dito yung mga duties and responsibilities ng Barangay Tanod, no? Napakalaki pala ng kanilang mga responsibilidad. At ang sinabi nyo kanina, 1,500 lang ang kanilang honorarium kada taon. Monthly. Sa lahat po, uniform ban? Average lang. So yung sa mga mayaman na barangay, like yung mga minention ni Senator Marcoleta, magkano tinatanggap? If you know.
Na 30 mil, Mr. Chair, 35,000, ganun kalalaki. Barangay.
Barangay Tanod,
May
35.
honorarium
Ano?
ng barangay kapitan.
May,
No.
you know?
Sa Tanod po, like po yung isang barangay po namin sa Wakwak, may nagre-receive po ng 10 to 15,000 po. Depende po kasi sa budget po ng barangay.
Yes, so honorarium.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Kada barangay Tanod.
Yes po.
Alright. Doon sa mga maliit na barangay, yung mga sa remote provinces, Yung pinakamaliit na honorarium na tatanggap nila.
Mas bakit pang 800 pesos
800.
per month po.
Anong
Plus,
fifth class municipality? As low as 800.
as low as 800 pesos per month po. And ang pinakamalaki doon so far sa Masbate is 1.5 per month. Yun po ang pinakamalaki.
Hmm. Napakaliit. Depende naman sa budget yan. Kasi nung binasa ko yung mga ang papel na ginagampanan ng barangay tanod, napakalawak kasi. Tsaka binubuwis nila yung kanilang buhay rito. No? Siyempre, naging mayor ko, kaya alam ko yan. Pero siguro, pwede natin siguro doon sa susunod sa ating mga panukalang batas, no, pwede siguro natin dagdagan yung honorarium ng ating mga barangay tanods. May insurance ba ito?
Wala po.
Wala pa rin
Wala
insurance?
pong insurance, Mr. Chair. Wala po.
Mr. Chair, ako, meron na ikukwento. Dahil nag-i-interview po ako doon sa isang program ko eh. Nagkataon po magkatabi yung dalawang kapitan. Yung isa po ay dito sa may gilid ng White Plains. Ang kanyang barangay, nagkataon pinakamaliit ang area. Kasi mga 8 barangay po ang akin ni-interview per program. Yung isa po ay galing sa Tanay. Ang laki po ng kanyang land area. Siguro, basta siyang pinakamalaki yung araw na yon. Tinanong ko siya kung magkano po yung honorarium. 7,000 pesos per month. Sa lawak po ng kanyang nasasakupan na barangay sa Tanay. Pagkatapos tinanong ko po yung kapitana na nandyan sa gilid ng White Plains. Ang liit lang ng kanyang nasasakupan. Pero ang kanyang sinasahod, nung tanungin ko siya, magkano naman kapitana ang sinasahod mo? 29,000 pesos po. Alam mo nangyari, Chairman? Nahulog sa upuan yung taga-Tanay eh. Totoo pong nangyari kasi nasa gilid eh. 7,000, napakalaki po ng kanyang nasasakupan. Itong isa, dahil napakalaki ng nata niya siguro, 29,000 pesos per month. Nasaan po yung equity doon? Nasaan po yung justisya doon? Pareho naman po yung trabaho nila 24/7. Malawak pa nga yung kanyang binabantayan, kaya po yung tanod niya dapat 25 yung ang tanod niya sa lawak po ng nasasakupan niya. 500, 800 pesos lang yung tanod niya. Samantalang yung sa White Plains, 11,000, 12,000 pesos per month. Yan po yung disparity. Yung disparity talaga ang nandun ang injustice. It's po sana yung matutukan natin kasi ang barangay po ang, sabi ko nga na kanina, first responder, frontliner, sila po yung unang tumatanggap ng mga national programs na pinalalatag po ng gobyerno. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Okay, the local government code also provides our barangay officials benefits like Christmas bonus, insurance coverages, free medical care, and exemption from paying tuition fees for their legitimate children and appropriate civil service eligibility. May we know how these provisions are currently implemented?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The DILG continuously monitor the provision of these benefits under Section 393 of the local
Nasusunod ba ito?
Some barangays po would
Doing some
Opo.
barangays. Sino yung mga hindi sumusunod dito? How many percent ang sumusunod? Or how many percent ang hindi sumusunod?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. In most cases, because about 83% of all 42,000 barangays would have an average of 1 to 5 million. That's about 35 million barangays would only have that much national tax allocation, and most of these barangays are those that cannot provide all the benefits as provided for by the law, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Dahil sa kakulangan ng pondo.
Yes po.
Yung tama po yung data ng DILG. Pwede rin pong tanongin.
Yes. What can you say, Madam Jessica, dun sa kanyang sinabi?
Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Totoo po yun kasi wala naman po talagang pagkukuhanan. Kung i-divide niyo po, the maximum allowable na PS po per barangay is 55%.
Yeah.
So 55%,
Hindi lang ako sa barangay, pati sa cities,
Yes.
municipalities.
55% and din ang ginagastos ng barangay for PS. Madalas nasa mga 40%, 45, ganyan. Dahil wala na rin po silang pang MOOE. Yung mga panggasto. So tinitipid din po nila yung sarili nilang mga sweldo para meron pa pong panggastos sa barangay. So yung kaliit-liit po na pondo na natitira doon sa PS po nila, paano pa po nila yung sweldo pa lang wala na nga po, paano pa po yung benefits. So kaya nga po inilalakad po talaga natin yung Magna Carta. Nagpapasalamat po tayo sa inyo po na sa inyong mga senators po natin na nag-file for the Magna Carta for barangays dahil ito na lang po yung chance po ng mga karamihan sa barangays po natin na magkaroon pa po ng benepisyo or ng standard na sweldo, makatarungang sweldo para sa kanilang mga gampaning trabaho.
Can you please submit your position paper?
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Present na ba yung mga League of Provinces, League of Cities, League of Municipalities? Are they present here today? On the way? Saan? Ha? Saan sila on the way? Baka sa house pumunta yun. Okay, if they are not present, if these three heads are not present in today's hearing, if they do not come, maybe we can invite them in the next hearing. And if they do not attend, huwag nila ubusin ang pasensya ko. Okay? What are the other, yung mga other resource persons? Can you please, meron ba kayong presentation? Comelec? Wala. Ha? Sino? Sige, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. As far as the Commission on Election is concerned, Your Honor, we fully support these bills on Magna Carta for barangay officials as well as compensation for barangay officials, Your Honor. As we know for a fact that the barangay is the basic political unit. Sila po ang frontliner. Tama yung mga sinabi kanina ni Senator Marcoleta na kahit mga konting problema, barangay ang lalapitan. Kahit sa mga calamities, sila ang lalapitan. And even during elections, sila din ang nilalapitan na just in case nasira ang voting center, nasira ang eskwelahan, barangay officials are there to assist and help the public school teachers, the election officers para may kumpuni or para magbigay ng assistance as far as provisioning of makeshift. May mga instances kami, Your Honors, na nangyayari iyon na magbigay ang barangay officials ng pahiram ng mga tents nila or mga chairs nila just to ensure that elections are conducted on the date of the elections. And not only that, during satellite registration, especially in the barangay or hinterland barangays, our election officers would coordinate with or upon the request of these barangay officials in hinterlands para mapuntahan yung mga kapatid natin na nasa hinterlands for them to register instead of going to the poblacion, to the office of the election officer. Andun po yung mga barangay officials assisting COMELEC in the conduct of registration. So napakahalaga at napakalaki ang role ng mga barangay officials. So nararapat lang talaga na bigyan natin sila ng incentive through these legislations, Your Honors. So as far as COMELEC is concerned, we fully support for these bills and hoping in due time, mapapasa ito at magiging batas po ito. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Attorney Elnas. Civil Service? Any representative from Civil Service?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good morning po, Mr. Chair, Your Honor. On the part of the Civil Service Commission, consistent with its guidance to the House of Representatives as regards the counterpart bill of this bill, the CSC expresses its full support for this Senate bill on the Magna Carta for barangays, as the CSC recognizes for the role of the barangay that it plays in nation building. They serve as a conduit to implement projects of the national government to the communities at the local level. As a matter of fact, barangay officials and employees are responsible for the delivery of basic services to the people. They work 7 days and for more than 40 hours a week. So in fact, there are instances when their work needs them even during unholy hours. So their services deserve to be recognized through compensation and benefits. So the CSC again fully supports the proposal for this Magna Carta and providing barangay officials and employees fixed and appropriate compensation that can provide them decent living and support for their families, as well as health and social security benefits, which are afforded to other government employees. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Sheila, for the Civil Service Commission. What about the representative of Department of Finance?
Your Honor, the Department of Finance, as regards the Magna Carta for barangay health workers, recognizes the intent to grant barangay officials regular government employee status with fixed salaries, benefits, and continuous training while ensuring the provision of essential services and infrastructure in every barangay. However, we have reservations on some provisions of the proposal, Your Honor.
Ano yun, tungkol sa pera?
Yes, Your Honor. Your Honor, on the automatic release of shares from the National Tax Collection, we in the DOF we find it no longer necessary since Section 286A of RA 7160 or our local government code as amended already mandates that each local government unit's share shall be released directly to the provincial, municipal, or barangay treasurer within 5 days after each quarter without need for further action and free from any lien or holdback by the national government. Also, Your Honor, sa pera pa rin po, on the mandatory share of barangays. The mandatory share of barangays from all taxes collected from real properties, except for the SCF, is already provided under Section 271 and 274 of the Local Government Code. Although I was discussing here a while ago with our colleague from the Bureau of Local Government Finance, I think they have a different reason for the mandatory share of barangays, because I think some versions of the bill states is not only referring to real property taxes but to all taxes. So they have we will consolidate our positions with our Bureau of Treasury and Bureau of Local Government Finance.
Can you please submit your position paper?
Yes, Your Honor.
After the holidays na? After the holidays na?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, may nakalimutan na ako sabihin kanina, Your Honors. Now, I would like to inform this honorable body that as of now, out of 336,008 SK positions, mayroon tayong vacant positions na 2,119. Ang reason dito po is walang nag-file ng certificate of candidacy, walang kandidato, and some did not assume. So with these bills, Your Honor, giving incentive and fixed compensation, this might entice, this might encourage our young people to file their candidacy, participate in the elections, and assume as SK officials, Your Honor. So malaking
What
bagay
are
po
these
ito.
barangays who were not represented by the Sangguniang Kabataan?
We will submit, Your Honor, if necessary. If required,
Ito sa
Your
Metro
Honor.
Manila, not in Metro Manila. I'm sure it's not in Metro Manila.
It's not in Metro Manila, Your Honor. Nasa mga
Visayas, Mindanao,
Yes, Your Honor.
Luzon, wala.
We will
Meron
check
din.
our records,
Yes.
Your Honor.
Please submit it to
Yes,
to
Your
the
Honor.
committee.
And pangalawa po, Your Honor, is that under Bill number 1115, sponsored by Senator Gatchalian, it speaks of term of office, which is 5 years. Unfortunately, as of now, we have Republic Act 1223, which fixes the term of 4 years. So magiging
We already passed that
amendment-
law. Diba?
this will amend if maipasa ito, kung nai-consolidate ito lahat, will this amend the term of office provided under Republic Act 1223, which is 4 years, Your Honors. Thank you po.
Thank you, Attorney Elnas. DBM?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Your Honors, and to everyone present in this meeting. Regarding po the bills, we recognize po the intention of the bills. However, we respectfully recommend further study of the bills to consider po the effects. First of all po, if the barangay officials will be considered as government employees already, then it will have to comply with the qualification standards po. And of course, the capacity of the LGUs to grant their salaries and benefits. Currently po, we have a list of authorized benefits, and of course, considering the local autonomy of the LGUs, then the funds should be sourced from their respective local government funds, Your Honors. And among other issues as well, with the economic team and the funding for the local governments po. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. One of the factors to consider is the funding source. No? During the public hearing kasi of the committee during the 19th Congress, DBM estimated the funding requirements for proposed fixed salaries of barangay officials and personnel at 330.13 billion. Yung estimate was made in 2019. No? Does the DBM have a more recent estimate on the expected budgetary impact of this measure?
At the moment, Mr. Chair, wala pa po kasi we also note kung ano po ba yung magiging structure ng barangay. Kasi at the moment po kasi sa ating iOS, konti pa lang po yung fix na barangay officials. So kung madadagdagan po siya, magde-depend po yung ating estimates on that.
Okay. Basta mag-submit na lang kayo ng inyong position paper with regard to this ha.
Noted po, Mr. Chair. Thank you po.
Okay. GSIS?
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
And on behalf of our PGM, we thank you for inviting GSIS to share our thoughts on the pending bills. Actually, the GSIS has been attending deliberations of the barangay bills since the 18th Congress. And as far as I'll just concentrate on the aspect of compensation, retirement benefits, and funding. Before the rationale of this Magna Carta bills for barangay bills is in order to give barangay officials coverage sa GSIS and retirement benefits. Now, we have been emphasizing even before that the only way, the quickest way of having retirement benefits or these barangay officials covered by GSIS is to change the form of compensation to one of fixed salary and compensation instead of a honorarium basis, because under GSIS law, if you're paid honoraria based on honorarium basis, you are not covered by GSIS. However, if you now become a fixed salary officers, you will be covered by GSIS. So I'm glad. I haven't read the whole bill, but browsing some of it, including the one by the honorable chair, it grants a salary, a fixed salary, and SG, or I think equivalent of the sanggunian, and that's good enough. That will be the basis for the barangay officials to be covered by GSIS if ever they wish, no. Because unlike before, honoraria, which is iba't ibang amount, as stated earlier, this time it has a fixed SG, whether SG basis or based on other local government officials. So that's one thing that will surely resolve the issue on coverage on GSIS retirement benefits. Secondly, I saw some bills granting retirement benefits on a special law, parang special law basis. That could be done, but to avoid any issue about transition on budgetary requirements, since they are not contributing members before, it is best that the budgetary requirements will come from the GAA. And I'm glad that most of the bills provides for budgetary requirements from the GAA. So again, that will resolve a lot of issues about non-contributing members before. Finally, I saw one bill, granting retirement benefits to barangay officials after serving 3 consecutive terms or 9 years. That could be done. Again, ang gagawin dyan is they will be covered under special law, just like the prosecutors, and then the budgetary requirements, again, will come from the GAA. So, in fine, if the budgetary requirements will come from GAA as proposed by DILG, then that will be fine for GSIS, no? And so far as retirement benefits is concerned. But ang pinakamaganda dito, I hope Congress will pass, kasi I saw some bills kasi granting honoraria. I hope it will be reconciled such that it will be a fixed salary compensation basis instead of honoraria. We do away with honoraria, then grant the compensation, fixed salary compensation to all barangay officials. That will be the best way siguro. So we will submit our official position paper here.
All right. Under Section 522 of the Local Government Code, the GSIS is mandated to establish and administer an appropriate system under which the punong barangay, members of the Sangguniang Barangay, the secretary, treasurer, and tanod shall enjoy insurance coverage. May we get the updates from the GSIS about this, attorney?
Thank you, Your Honor. I was supposed to mention that. Actually, I think that's the BOIF, or the Barangay Official Insurance Fund. Unfortunately, Your Honor, I hope the DBM can also shed light on this, because since 1995, it has remained unfunded. In fact, it has already eaten up some of the budget ng GSIS. Hindi na yan na-funded from the GAA. Kaya hindi na rin.
So magkano na shell out nyo dito?
I'll update the figure, but as of 2022, I think it's 1 billion na yata. 1 billion the unfunded portion, and GSIS shell out a substantial amount of it.
Magkano yung substantial amount?
Let me check. As of November 30, 2022, the total premium receivables from DBM amounted to 1,221,000, including interest of about 800 plus million.
Kasi
I think,
yung position paper ng GSIS noong December 3 years ago, ang sinabi nyo, the national government has been delinquent in remitting the required premium contributions to the Barangay Officials Insurance Fund since 1995.
Yes,
Ganun ba katagal?
yes, based on our records, Your Honor.
And that the national government has not settled the unpaid premium contributions despite due notice given by the GSIS. Totoo ba yun, ano? Sino makakasagot ito? TBM? And as of November 30th, 2022, total premium receivables from DBM amount to at least 1.2 billion pesos. Bakit hindi nyo binabayaran ng GSIS?
Good morning again, Mr. Chair. I will check po with our operations group. I think we are aware of that issue. I-double check ko lang po yung latest status on our end.
Since 1995, so that's 30 years ago. 30 years na kayo hindi nagbabayad. Ganun ba?
I think we have coordination po with GSIS, but we will update po the committee on the latest status, Mr. Chair.
And the GSIS suspended payment of claims for benefits in November 2001 due to the fact that the Barangay Officials Insurance Fund no longer has the funds to pay out the claims and benefits to the concerned barangay officials. Tama ba? Is my information correct? GSIS, is my information correct?
Mr. Chair, we'll discuss this with BDM because to be fair, I think most of us here are still, I'm still a first year law student during 1995. So it might have, yun, baka talagang 1995 hindi na tumitigil ang pagbayad nito, even the funding from GAA. But I'm not sure if Congress has appropriated a separate funding na hindi dumadaan sa GSIS. That I think DBM can enlighten on us. Because in several hearings before sa House of Representatives, parang they mention about, I think Congress has also appropriated certain amount, not to the BOF, but directly yata to barangay, I don't know, DILG.
Bakit hindi ini-earmark para sa BOF yan? Kung talagang meron talagang pondo. Imagine 30 years since 1995, mayor pa ako nun. Pinababayaan natin yung mga barangay officials, hindi natin nabibigyan ng sapat na pondo. Insurance coverage, wala. Samantalang nasa batas to. Were you remiss in your duty? DBM? Bakit hindi nyo binabayaran?
Mr. Chair, siguro isa-isahin na natin. Total, naungkat na rin yan. Ito po bang Christmas bonus in the form of cash gift at the rate authorized by law, which covers punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary, natutupad po ba ito? Kasi nasa website po ng DBM ito, na-research lang namin. Meron din palang insurance coverage kahit papano ang barangay. Ito pong Republic Act 6942, punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, barangay secretary, barangay tanods not exceeding 20 in each barangay. Dapat po meron silang insurance coverage in the form of death and burial benefits, total and permanent incapacity or disability, 5,000 to 12,000 pesos. Injuries resulting from accidents, 500 to 10,000 pesos. Lahat po ba ito ay natutugunan, Mr. Chair?
Maybe the DILG can answer that question.
Meron pa po, medical care consisting of pre-hospitalization in government hospitals for the punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary. And in extreme emergency, the same officials may be confined in private hospitals with expenses chargeable against barangay funds at not more than 5,000 pesos per official. Free tuition and matriculation fees in government schools in their area for punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary including 2 of their legitimate dependent children during their term of office. Conferment of civil service eligibility based on the number of years of service in barangay for punong barangay, sangguniang barangay members, barangay treasurer, and barangay secretary who have completed their term of office, and preference in appointment to any government position to which they are qualified for the punong barangay and sangguniang barangay members after their term of office. Ito po bang binanggit namin ay natutugunan o natutupad para sa kapakanan po ng mga nasabing mga opisyalis ng barangay? Walang kumikibo, Mr. Chair, mukhang natutulog lahat.
DLG siguro pwede siguro.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, Your Honors. The DILG is monitoring the provision of these benefits to our barangay officials and employees.
Ano na pong na-monitor nyo, sir?
We will submit po the detail of the provision as to the number of
Hindi po, kamukha ng Christmas bonus. Natutupad po ba ito? Lahat nabigyan?
yes, Your Honor, but
Nandito po ang presidente ng mga barangay kapitan sa buong Pilipinas.
yes, Your Honor. However, the limitation, the 55% limitation for personal services applies as a budgetary requirement. So barangays would provide such benefits in different levels, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, kanina tinanong po ninyo yung mga barangay kung alam nila yung insurance. Hindi po nila alam eh. Kaya po, kasama pala rito eh, Republic Act 6942, Madam DBM.
Sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Sen. Sen, yung RA 6942 po, naibibigay naman po sa mga barangay officials na mga namamatay. Meron po siyang 20,000 pesos para sa kapitan, sa beneficiary ng kapitan na namatay, and 2,000 pesos na burial assistance. Ang kaso lang po, when we had a meeting with GSIS, hindi po GSIS ang pinanggagalingan po nito. DILG actually is the one that's providing for this sa mga barangay officials po natin. Kapag sila po ay namatay in their duty, madodoble po ito sana. So yung mga barangay officials, nilalakad po ito sa DILG at natatanggap po nila itong 20,000, 2,000. But our only concern about RA 6942 is that this law was passed in 1990. So yung 20 mil po noon, iba na po yung peso value noon sa 20 mil ngayon, at yung 2,000 burial assistance nung 1990, iba na rin po ngayon. Yung kabaong hindi po, sa 2,000 hindi ka po makakabili ng kabaong. So alam naman po natin with the situation of the barangay officials na napakaliit po ng honorarium, malamang sa malamang wala rin po yung mga naiipon. Kapag namatay, ito lang din po ang nakukuha nila from the government, yung kanilang mga pamilya.
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair. Ang katotohanan niyan, yung RA 6942, actually, it is an act increasing the insurance benefits. 1990 pa po yun, kahit pa anong increase ang ibigay mo, dapat siguro it has increased 10-folds na siguro. Kasi 2025 na ito. Tama naman po yun kung ano po yung permanent incapacity, 5,000 to 12,000 pesos. Depende po kung paano yung kalagayan ng barangay. Namomonitor nyo ba talaga? Ilan po ba yung namatay na kapitan, halimbawa, this year, para lang makita natin kung magkano po ang binigay ninyo na disability, burial benefits?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. We will have the numbers. For the information of the Chair and the committee, there's an off budget of 50 million pesos for the barangay officials death and burial assistance funding. From the last 6 years, we were able to utilize about 37 million annually po. But for the last 2 years, medyo mababa yung number of deaths. Thank you very much. And
This year, sir, ilan ang nabayaran na namatay kung may namatay ng mga barangay kapitan or barangay officials?
we will have the number, sir.
Sir, Mr. Chair, may I? Yung question niyo po regarding yung mga namatay, we have our data from 2023 to 2025. 2023, 134. 2024, 1,772. Tapos 2025, 1,161. Ang mga barangay officials and barangay officials na namatay po.
Compensated na lahat, ma'am.
Hindi ko po masasagot if compensated. I think the ILG would be best to answer that. And sir, if I may, I also brought our data of the reason why we're also lobbying for the better life and health insurance. Because every year po, ang dami pong mga attacks ng mga barangay officials po natin. We know that they're the most vulnerable sa ating political system. Kasi yung mga barangay officials naman po natin, wala naman po mga bodyguard, walang mga security. Every year po, ang dami pong pinapatay na barangay officials, ang daming attacks. In 2022, we have 83 in total. 10 lang ang nag-survive po doon, 73 died. 2023, meron tayong 76 na pinaslang na barangay officials. 2024, we have 52. And then 2025, we have 30. 8 po ang nabuhay doon. The most recent, if you saw in Davao, yung
Kapitan
habang
Dodong,
nagla-live, opo. Yun nga po.
compensated ba yun?
I'm not aware if he was.
Can we check, sir, kung yung Kapitan Dodong na-compensate at saka kung ano po ang ginawa nyo? Kasi ang pagkakapatay nun, nagbablog yata siya sa Facebook.
Nag-live stream.
Binaril.
Opo. Mr. Chair, ito po yung mga data ng mga pinapaslang, mga attacks po ng barangay officials, and this happens actually even in their own barangay hall or sa sarili nilang tahanan, or pag pauwi, naglalakad mula sa barangay hall papunta sa bahay, dun po sila binabaril. So most of these mga riding in tandem, kadalasan po yung kanilang pagpaslang.
Huwag mong kakalimutan yung mga barangay tanod na habang binibigay nila yung 1,500 sa asawa, ang sakit-sakit ng loob ng asawa. Nai-stress po yung mga barangay tanod eh. At magkakasakit ka sa puso talaga, no? Malaking 1,500 pesos a month. Paano ibubuhay yung pamilya mo, Mr. DILG? Pagtuunan natin ng pansin ito.
Actually, Mr. Chair, Sir Senator, sa mga kapitan po natin, according to our study, in Samar, ang pinakamababa pong nakita po naming sweldo, but this is 2025 data, no? Pinakamababa pong sahod ng kapitan is nasa 3,000 sa isang buwan. So hindi rin po malayo dun sa tanod.
Tama ka dyan, ma'am. Outlier kasi yun. Kasi ang ginawa ko noon, talagang sasakit ang loob mo. Merong 39,000 pesos, 3,000, kaya kinuha ko na lamang yung range eh. Kaya meron talagang mag-a-average ng 5,000, pero ang nakita kong nasa 8,000 talaga nationwide. Katapat ng tinatanggap ng kasambahay. Pero Mr. Chair, ang isang importante rito na nakita natin, sa civil service po, paano po na-operationalize itong nako-confirm nyo yung eligibility based on the years of service po ng isang barangay official? Kasi po, Madam President of the Barangay, this is very important also. Kasi makakatulong ito, depende po sa pinagsilbi ng barangay official. Nagkaroon siya ng civil service eligibility, baka magamit niya rin po ito, Madam.
Yes, Chair, regarding po the civil service eligibility, as early as 2012, the CSC promulgated CSC Resolution 12-00865 and circularized through CSCMC number 13 series of 2012, where the CSC grants barangay official eligibilities based strictly on completion of term of office to elective barangay officials such as the punong barangay, the regular sangguniang barangay members, and sangguniang kabataan chairman, as well as the appointee barangay officials, the barangay treasurers, and barangay secretaries, who are all appointed by the duly elected punong barangay. So this barangay official eligibility is considered appropriate for appointment to first level positions in the career service, except for those positions covered by board laws and or those that require other special eligibilities as determined by the commission, or those that require licenses such as those positions listed under category 4 of CSCMC 11 series of 1996 as amended. So, Chair, Your Honor, the CSC has been granting BOE to qualified barangay officials as early as 2012. We can provide po the data.
So Mr. Chair, ilan na po yung nabigyan ng eligibility since the issuance of that civil service order?
Unfortunately po, wala po akong dalang data. We can provide po the committee on the data po.
Thank you, thank you.
Director Villaseñor, matagal ka na dyan sa posisyon mo sa National Barangay Operations Office?
Mr. Chair, I started in 2019 po.
2019.
Yes, sir.
So hindi mo na-monitor, pinag-usapan natin kanina na 30 years na hindi nagbabayad ang national government sa BOIF.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, sir. We started providing for barangay officials death benefit assistance in 2002 when the GSIS stopped covering the insurance of barangay officials. Since 2002 po, we have the statistics here, the number of barangay officials disaggregated to punong barangay, treasurer, etc. Until to date po, we have covered about 1,692 for the current year death benefits. And 3 years ago, we started to automate our system to improve our turnaround time. So there's no need to send the documents already to central office for processing, but at the municipal level, they will just scan it by our LGOOs, the DILG local government officials, and submit it dun po sa automated system so that we can hasten the provision of the death and burial benefits to our barangay officials.
You started doing that only when GSI stopped doing it.
2000, there was an executive order, number 115, Your Honors. That's the basis for the provision of the barangay officials death benefit assistance. We started
yes, in time when the GSI stopped providing this benefit. So kayo nang gumawa, tama ba 'yun?
Yes po, but yes po. We started in 2002.
So does that exonerate the GSIS from that responsibility? Kasi mukhang sila yata ay nagbabayad bago kayo, di ba?
Yes po, because
nag-usap ba kayo paano nangyari? Ba't kami nang nagbabayad ngayon? Kayo hindi na kayo nagbabayad?
The budget coverage for the benefit, Your Honor, is included annually in the General Appropriations Act. The current amount is 50 million per year to cover for that.
Okay.
We submit this to the DBM, Your Honor, so that they can release the funding. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Malinaw dito sa ating hearing na lahat yung mga, almost all, mga barangay officials natin are underpaid and overworked. Will you agree, Madam Jessica? Okay. Maraming benefits na nakasaad sa kasalukuyan natin mga batas ay hindi na ibibigay at hindi napapakinabangan ng mga barangay officials katulad ng insurance. Correct? Medyo tulungan yan man itong ating committee upang mabigyan natin ng sapat na benepisyo at pagkakilala at bigyan naman natin ng dignidad itong ating mga barangay officials. Dahil ito yung mga nasa front line eh. Alam ko yun, siyempre, si Senator Marcoleto wala kang experience sa local government pero alam niya. Ako pa kaya na may experience.
Ang dami mong experience kasi, Mr. Chair. Alam mo, Mr. Chair, overwork, underpaid. But, alam mo, ano ito parang ano pa ito Kung pag-uusapan kasi natin, sabi nga, 24/7 ang kanilang gawain Pagkatapos, ang sinasahod nila ay kakarampot lang. Paano natin po ano yun, magiging reasonable? Kasi, Mr. Chair, alam mo naman ito, sa private companies, kapag po kayo ay nakapagtrabaho na ng 6 months, mandatory na po kayong nare-regular na po, di ba? Ang mga barangay officials po, 24/7. Nakatapos na po ng ilang termino. Hindi ko nga malaman, Mr. Chair, kahit nakakarampot ang kanilang sweldo, pinipilit pa nilang, gusto pa nga nila, kung ako lang ang tatanungin nyo, siguro for life na kayo mga kapitan. Kaya lang, ang daming problema, for life din ba yung problema nyo? Bakit po hindi kayo nare-regular samantalang sa private sector, 6 months lang, regularization na po ang kondisyon ng inyong employment? Bakit po yung barangay, 24/7, 3 termino na po siya, bakit hindi siya ma-regular? Kasi kung regular po kayo, kahit na minimum wage lang siguro, ilalaban na natin, Mr. Chair. Kano ba yung average na minimum wage ngayon, Mr. DILG?
Dito sa Metro Manila, I think it's around 700 plus, no?
Mga 800 plus na yan. So nationwide, Mr. DILG, ano yung average na minimum wage?
Kasambahay po, almost the same.
Hindi,
Your Honor.
minimum wage ng mga workers natin. In the private sector. Minimum wage.
About 600 per day, Your Honor.
600 per day. Multiply mo sa 30 days.
Or 22, sir, excluding yung number of about 13,000 to 14,000.
So at least sa 13,000, maligaya lahat ang barangay. Hindi 5,000, hindi 3,000 pesos. Doon natin gustong ilagay sana ang kalagayan ng mga barangay officials natin para maging may konting naman decente naman ang kanilang pamumuhay. Sir Chair, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Madam Jessica.
Mr. Chair, regarding dun sa tinanong nyo kanina, ano ba yung estado ng mga barangay officials? Actually, parang displaced nga po yung mga barangay officials because they're not regular government employees kasi wala naman po silang salary kasi honorarium ang natatanggap nila and yet they work far more than the regular hours of government employees. Tapos, hindi natin alam kung government employees nga ba sila or volunteer. Kasi parang volunteer
Kasi,
ang
ma'am,
kanilang natatanggap.
Under your local government code, volunteerism kasi ang inyong pagtatrabaho sa barangay. Kaya kung volunteer kayo, hindi sweldo, honorarium nga eh.
Yes.
Ito yung dilema. Pero ayusin na po natin yung dilema. Pare-pareho lang po tayong kumakain kasi may pamilya tayo. Kaya ilagay natin sa tama na. May pagka-voluntaryo pero hindi ibig sabihin ay kinakailangang maging malayo naman ang tinatanggap sa karaniwang manggagawa. Yun lang po ang principle behind that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta. Considering the intricacies of these measures and the number of issues raised during the deliberation, the committee secretary is hereby instructed to organize and convene a TWG, a technical working group, to further discuss the bills in detail. And the committee secretariat will coordinate with your respective offices and technical staff as to the schedule of the TWG meetings. Okay, lahat ng mga bills na diniscuss natin ngayon ay Magna Carta for Barangays, sponsored by Senators Zubiri, Go, Ejercito, Rafi Tulfo, and this representation. Yung Senate Bill number 151, sponsored by Senator Erwin Tulfo, yung punong barangay will be at salary grade 10. Senate Bill number 1115, sponsored by Senator Gatchalian, authored by Senator Gatchalian, Magna Carta for Barangay Official. In Senate Bill number 272, authored by Senator Aquino, Barangay Workers Act. Senate Bill number 275, authored by Senator Chis Codero, the amendment of the Local Government Code. And SBN, Senate Bill number 100, authored by Senator Mark Villar, tungkol sa punong barangay will receive no less than 3,000 pesos. And Senator Marcoleta's bill, Senate Bill number 65. Lahat ito ay bigyan nyo kaagad ng inyong position paper. Kasi I plan to, kung ako pa rin ang magiging chair ng Committee on Local Government by next year, gusto ko na ipasa yung Magna Carta for barangay officials para mabigyan naman natin ng konting dignidad yung ating mga barangay officials. Alright? Meron pa ba ibang question? Yes.
Sir, yung mga barangay po na high income, nagtanong-tanong din po kami, kahit sila po mga high income na barangays, hindi rin po sila nakakatanggap ng benefits even if they are able. So I was asking them why this is so. It has been customary from time immemorial na ganun na. I think it would be very useful if DBM would also set specific guidelines as to this kasi DBM was able to set ceiling for the salary, SG 14 para sa kapitan, SG 11 for the kagawads. But they were not able to state really the guidelines if pwede ba yung mga barangay officials to charge against the barangay funds para sa kanilang mga benepisyo for the able barangays. Because we're talking about 42,011 barangays, but not all of them naman belong to the very poor category. So if the-tier po natin yan, ang mga barangays na nasa 50 million and above, nasa mga I think 0.5% yata, no? 0.5%. But 5 million below, nasa 72%. So, ibig sabihin, at least meron pong nabawasan sa problema po natin na hindi natin kailangan lahat ng 42,011 ay tutulungan kasi there are some barangays that are able. So, if DBM can set clear guidelines na pwede nang mag-charge sa barangay funds for the benefits of the barangay officials and workers, then that would be very, very useful. Because even in the barangays, the rich barangays in Quezon City, when I asked them, yung mga kapitan, kahit sila, wala pong SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig.
Yeah.
So, yun ang
The representative ng DBM, can you take notice of what Madam Jessica earlier mentioned?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I think we are drafting po guidelines for barangays. Hindi ko lang po pwedeng may disclose at the moment since na-finalize pa po siya. So we will coordinate po with Ms. Jessica po.
Thank you, Madam. Madam Jessica, kasi meron mga barangays dito, lalo na sa Manila, sa City of Manila, na yung mga ibang barangay doon, dalawa lang kalsada. Are you aware of it? And we have, I think Manila has around 900, 800, no, 900, 996, 896. Di ba 900 yun? Ha? 900 plus yun nung panahon ng tatay ko. Alam ko, 900 plus. Officially.
897
Okay,
po.
897. Yun ba nakakatanggap ng ano? Magkano yung kanilang honorarium?
May barangay,
Ano average income nila? Doon sa
1 million to
million, alam nyo, DILG? Sa Manila. Curious lang ako
po dyan, parang nasa 2 million. Mga 2 million
2
po
million?
siguro.
Dalawang kalsada lang. 2 million yung budget, yung budget, yung income nila.
Ang pinakamaliit po kasi natin, according to our records na 2024, 1.3 million yung pinakamaliit na NTA ng barangay, pero that's in Samar. So I think sa Manila, kaya sila nag-iisang barangay kada ilang kanto dahil sa dami ng populasyon
Hindi ba natin
or
pwede
ilang
cluster
kanto.
na lang yan?
Actually, kung isa sa mga gusto namin po i-propose,
Ayaw nila siguro.
is to-
Siyempre, ayaw nila yun.
isa sa mga magandang proposals po, Mr. Chair, is to merge some of the barangays para ma-pool yung resources. Kung if we are going to look at it economically, that would be a good idea.
Yes, but I don't think
Politically,
the other barangay captains there in Manila will not agree with us.
Pare-parehong bida yung mga yun. Paano mo... Dati kasi 900 barangays yun, pre, tama ka ron. Kaya lang, nawala yung 3 streets, kaya nawala yung 3.
Siguro that would be a wise idea to have it clustered para kumonti naman yung mga barangay na nasa scope ng Manila. Kaya lang talaga politically ayaw ng mga barangay captains. It must emanate from the house yung dapat yung mga congressman ng
Apo.
Manila
That would be useful.
will have to act on it.
And meron pa pong mga barangay na ideally na emerge are the barangays na nasa below 100 na po ang population. May iba nga pong barangay, meron tayong iilan, very, very, very few, na barangay na ang residente na lang ay yung mga barangay officials kasi yung buong barangay naging mall na. Naging mall,
paano-
gano'n,
ano mangyayari doon?
nagkaroon na ng development. So actually, those are the barangays that should have been merged.
You're
Yun
you're talking about Manila, no?
Ay, NCR, and I think it's NCR.
Also-
because barangays in
Also in
NCR.
other cities?
Ano ba yung mga, during, anong areas yun? Caloocan? Parang Caloocan, ano? Meron yata po sa Caloocan. Naging mall na yung buong barangay. Kaya wala nang population talaga doon.
Pero kumukubra pa rin.
So,
Huh?
meron pa rin po sila.
Yes, Your Honor. There are cases. There's also one in City of Manila. The entire barangay is a private property and thus nag-zero po ang population. But they are not abolished yet. They still receive their share from the national tax allocation. So
dapat itigil na yun.
I think there's wisdom in merger of barangays. We have seen that happen in Tagaytay, in Ormoc, and as well as in Bacoor City.
But we cannot do this. I mean, the Senate cannot do this. It has to emanate from the House of Representatives, yung kanilang mga congressman dun sa City of Manila. I cannot do this, you know. You have to convince maybe you have the convincing power to talk to maybe to the mayor, si Mayor Risco, and to the congressman of the City of Manila. Okay? Yes.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, magkatabi ho kaming dalawang kapitan. Ito ho, rini-represent niya yung NCR, rini-represent niya yung mayayaman na barangay. Kami naman ho, rini-represent ko dito yung mahihirap. Alam ni Senator Marcoleta yan kasi bumaba siya ng Masbate. Alam niya kung ano yung buhay ng mga kapitan. And hearing from the DBM representative, Mr. Chair, I think yung challenge talaga is yung pera kung saan manggagaling. And kanina parang sinabi niya na parang kung I will interpret it, parang suntok sa buwan kung saan kukuha yung national budget. Parang tinatapon na sa LGU. Wala tayong Mayor's League dito na dapat nagre-represent din. So, ang isa po sa nakikita siguro namin, Mr. Chair, is parang ika-categorize natin. Halimbawa, yung NCR ng mga barangays, kaya naman nila yon, kaya nila magbigay ng benefits on their own galing sa NTA nila. Ang problema lang talaga, yung mga maliliit ho na barangay, lalo na sa mga probinsya, yun hulat talagang walang pagkukuhanan ng pondo, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Kailangan natin yung presence nung hindi na dumating yung sinabing on the way. Ha? Babae ba yun, Presidente? Nag-on the way siya? Ha? So this will serve as a warning to the representatives of the League of Provinces, League of Cities, and League of Municipalities, because we have to we have to ask questions from these officials concerned, lalo na doon sa tatlong heads ng liga, no? Dahil hindi naman biro itong mga pinag-uusapan natin. Kaya siguro sa next hearing, maybe after the holidays, we'll conduct another hearing. And I expect the presence of these three representatives from the League of Municipalities, League of Cities, and League of Provinces. Okay? Wala na?
Mr. Chair, gusto ko lang naman, total bago tayo magtapos, bigyan nyo ng kaukulang atensyon yung aking bill, yung SB number 65. Kasi dito nakalatag kung saan natin kukunin ng additional funding. Without belittling to the other panukalang batas na sa harap ninyo ngayon. Pero dito, malinaw na pinagukulan natin ang pansin, lalong-lalo na yung nasa 4th class, 5th class municipalities, kagaya ng binabanggit ni Mr. Castillo, talagang walang mapagkukunan nyo. Kaya itong bill ko na 65 na to, nag-iisip kung saan natin lahat kukunin. Hindi lamang sa NATA kasi dito merong nakalatag ng mga provisions kung paano natin dadagdagan. Kaya nga meron siyang Barangay Affairs and Development Commission. Ito yung hawak. Kung inyong mamarapatin, pakitingnan yung mabuti, Mr. DILG. Sa sinabi ni Honorable D kanina, tama naman yun. Yung mga nakaluluwag na barangay, pabayaan natin silang with the guidelines coming from the DBM. Sabi kasi natin, if there's a will, there's a way. To paraphrase that, if there's a means, there's a way. Kasi may pera sila eh. Meron na silang means. So, ibigay na natin yung dapat ibigay sa kanila. Total, nasa kanila naman ang pera, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Kung talagang gugustuhin, may paraan. Kung ayaw, maraming dahilan. Okay? Thank you for your time and active participation in this public hearing. Again, kindly submit your respective position papers and requested information. Siguro after the holidays, maybe the latest will be 2nd week of January. Okay? Thank you. This meeting is hereby suspended. I would like to thank my good friend here, Senator Marcoleta, for providing me a quorum. Session is hereby suspended.